MCU Collector here with the next video, moving right along, just like I've done with previous waves, and be doing one video, one after the other, just so you guys can take a quick look at the figures. Not a super in-depth review, but you really want to feature the figures so you guys can see what they are like for yourselves and make a quick decision on your own. So again, this package, Nebula, shares the same exact packaging as Gamora, so everything's the same. Daughters of Thanos, same bio. Gamora on one side, Nebula on the other, and there it is. So I'm going to open her right up, and let's take a look at the figure. Looking through the package, I think the figure came out great. So we'll take a close look at that. So just like Gamora, Nebula comes with the Mantis leg. This is the left leg. So we will put Mantis together at the end of it. Put that off to the side. We'll take a look at the accessories. A couple of different accessories. So just comes with a little pistol blaster. This looks like the same exact coloring. Maybe a little bit of bronze. There's actually some gold in there. I don't know if you could really see that. So nice little detail, not bad to have in there. Similar wash effect like we saw with Gamora's accessories. So a little pistol there. She comes with an additional arm. So this arm piece is what you'll see in the movie at the beginning of the movie. If you would remember from the first movie, at the end of the movie, she loses her hand as it gets caught and she breaks free before she escapes. So that's why she has kind of that claw hand. But the figure, here we have her, and I think, look at that, the arm came right out of this place in the packaging. That's something to really watch out for. So it must be pretty easy to swap those arms out if it just kind of came right on out. Let's see, we just poured it right on in there, and it does not stay in very tight, so I would be careful with that. It just kind of slips in there. So I would say that this figure is actually maybe more so based on the first movie. It's kind of hard to say. I'd have to go back and really watch that movie to kind of see, because, you know, in the movie she does change outfits. This is not the outfit that she wears throughout the entirety of the movie, so it is very different. But let's take a quick close look at some of the paint apps on there. And I don't know if this is supposed to be like the design, but you see the black right over the purple, or if that's supposed to be like kind of a battle damage or kind of a dirty look to it. But I think it actually really helps it stand out and gives it a nice look to it. The figure itself, the sculpting actually has that textured look, is sculpted into it. So there's not actually a whole lot of paint apps to it. So when you kind of add that in, it really helps the figure kind of stand out with some additional detailing. So it's quite nice when we take a look at that. We'll take a quick look at the close-up of the head sculpt. I think it came out absolutely fantastic to Nebula of how she looks in the movies. I think Hasbro did a really good job with this head sculpt. I am quite impressed. So take a look at the movement. Moves up and down, hinges all the way down, and she can look up a little bit, not a whole lot. That's okay. Shoulders come all the way out. Now this sculpting in her outfit is really going to hinder that articulation a little bit. You can still rotate around, but it's not going to be fully straight up like other figures. On this side, it's a little bit different because it's not as doesn't stick out as much as before. Single jointed elbows, just like, again, all the other female figures. This wrist has that up and down, like the roll of the dice movement, as opposed to the back and forth hinge that we see with most of them. Now the coloring on here is pretty nice when you look at her arm. There's definitely some additional coloring and shading in that arm, so it's not just a dull grayish color, which I think is really nice when we kind of get some of those details in there. This belt piece is an additional piece that just kind of sits there. It cannot be removed. There's no strap or anything to help to undo it. It is just kind of sitting there. She has an upper diaphragm joint, which doesn't give her a whole lot of range of motion. Very, very little. legs spread out that far. You have upper thigh cut, double jointed knee. Feet don't seem to want to hinge. You can see there's a huge disc joint in there, but mine does not want to hinge, and I don't want to force it. But she does have ankle pivot, so be careful with your figures there. But there's Nebula, movie Nebula. No additional paint details on the back, but I think it is an absolutely fantastic figure. And again, I welcome any and all movie figures, so I'm very happy to have this one. Thanks, guys. Leave a comment, subscribe if you have not done so, and don't forget to like this video. Thanks.